in the mid lane. Ace just disappears. And that was the level 6 finger from Ninja.
And that's where Lion and Nyx have their value. Yeah, you kind of get crushed in the laning phase, but then you both hit 6, and all of a sudden, every time fingers up, somebody's going to die. And there's really nothing Ace can do in that position, in truth.
Yeah, and these aren't very tanky cores when you think about it, other than Abaddon's.
Yeah.
So very easy to find those kills.
Yeah, Secret's all about team fights and tempo control once they hit their core item timings. Mineski wants to continue playing around the big cooldowns, splitting the map, find pickoffs, and just shove lanes, because they have a lot. The cores all have the potential to shove lanes very quickly, and I'm still a believer in Ice Pango, even if the panel isn't, because there's a reason this gets banned nearly every game they play.
Yeah, it's the same with Mid-1 and the Ember Spirit. I feel like these are the two heroes that we pivotal in deciding the outcome of this game. And from that perspective, it's definitely going better for Mid-1, but we said already, you expect the harder lanes to tangle at the start.
Yeah, like the panel was talking about how they were surprised there wasn't a juggler lifesteal.
Big going to jump straight in with all 3 spirits, so we'll be able to find the kill on the eyesight side. No response coming into the mid lane. Diving on the Yatso, he starts up, he can't do anything, he'll be killed, and now we'll open up a push onto the mid tower.
Another arcane room too. It's a free tower.
Fantastic value.
Yeah. And the panel was talking about how juggler lifesteal was expected. I agree, just because in this game there were no real tools to deal with them as long as they got their spells off. The downside of Ember in a game like this is that no matter what you itemize for, there will always be answers for you, because at any point you catch a Carapace, you can be stun chained to death. And I'm very scared for him.
He's in a little bit of trouble here. They should be able to stun, but they decide not to. They're going to chase on the mid one, but he's already out. The Mushi catching up. They don't want to dive this though. They give respect to the Ember. He does put out a lot of damage now. But with the Flame Guard down, they could look to pursue. They're moving on to him now. Nyx is keeping an eye. Vendetta up. If they can get people across it, they can stick around. Mid-1 would be a prime kill for them. Jabs.
Just waiting for Flame Guard. Maybe you open with the stun.
Ice is coming in. The stun does hit, and now Ice is coming through. Will hit out on the mid-1. He's protecting someone from Body Shield, but now silence. He can't move away quick enough. He should die. They come around on the for more. Secret so clustered as Mineski. They get the stun back. They should be able to back away. Poppy, he has Nightmare up. The cooldown's going to come out. They're going to look to turn around. Kill off Fada. Double kill the move, but they're not done. Jabs with a stun. Poppy going on him next. He will fall as well. And Mineski, they're not done yet. Yam's all used up in the sky. He can't get away from this quick enough. The slows holding him back. They're going to dive to tier 2 and they'll get it. Triple kill for Moon. And Ace, the sole survivor.
Unbelievable. That's why he banned Pango. He just kind of demolishes the team fight. And this is what the strength of Mineski's lineup is. They have all these really cheap spells. They have no Death Prophet ultimate, but they knew Fada. He used his ult TPing out of top, still on cooldown for another 10-15 seconds, and they capitalize and kill him off. And it's just simple.
And it feels like everything that surrounds the Death Prophet is just cheap to use. And, well, in the bot lane, they'll look for a more rich kill as they do find Mushi a little far from the tower.
You can't have a death like that in this sort of game, especially because now he forces both the supports to rotate. You have Finger up, Invis up, and now they're in the dead lane where the tower's already died. You're all the way at the tier 2. You don't really want to be playing this area. You want to get right into the enemy jungle and play around those wards, which may be what they look to do next.
That's the thing, they have put these deep wards, but it feels like Mineski, they're pressuring them too hard to get any value out of them at all. Now the Nightmare is actually going to come out the Fiend's Grip as well. They want this kill on the Jab, they'll be able to find the Revenant forward, and he is all but dead. No chance of a turnaround kill. They didn't want to rush into that.
I love what Mid-1's doing as well, going for the Maelstrom build. Super strong in this game, and just, I think, the Ember item now. It just synergizes so well with this kid and what he wants to do in the game.
Yeah, Battle Fury just feels too greedy. It's been unoptimal for a while now. We did see the move towards Radiance, but Maelstrom, much quicker pickup, much quicker online time. And that's what you want with a Trollwaller.
Yeah, the game nowadays has a lot more constant activity. It's necessary that you're able to contribute. Even if you don't necessarily want to, you will find opportunities presented where you can make an influence in the game if you itemize properly.
It's like, oh, well, they're going to look for more kill to Mushi. He was just here. Is he going to make the same mistake? They back out. They know that's more than enough time to respond. And I think you're right. It's kind of this case of how often do you see a team aim for like an hour-long game? Pick something like Spectre. It's not very often. Really
good warding from Secret. They got that kill with the grip on the Nyx. They now know that they have control of the area. They place 2 really good deep wards.
And speaking of that Nyx, he's keeping an eye on the Poppy here. The Suns come out and look for the move to stun through. They should be able to find this kill. Bane will not be defended. The rest of the team just back out before they join him.
And this is something a lot of teams don't recognize, but often the teams ward in enemy jungles, and both teams right now want to kill the enemy safe lane tower and start playing their woods, because that's where their vision is, and that's where you can influence the most control over the map.
Absolutely.
Look for Roche to become an objective as well in the next 1 to 2 minutes, because both teams have the ability to do it if they make a move for it.
Looks like they're moving top though. Moon's trying to find a kill for Fada. He gets stunned up. There'll be no escape for him. He triggers the borrowed time, but Yule's up on the spot. When he drops, he's more or less secure to die, and he will.
Jesus. 16-minute godlike streak from Moon.
He's getting out of control here, and you expect this Death Prophet to have the up-down time and not be as present as Moon has been so far this game.
In conversations with players behind the scenes, that most people agree that if you want to beat Mineski, you have to just play around Moon's rotations, because he's the guy that actually does stuff. And I said, I forgot this. I'm like, oh, Mushi's going to be. Mushi does not rotate. He plays his lane, he farms, and he takes like his time. All right, he's a veteran. All right, Moon is just constantly rotating no matter what he plays.
He just wants blood. He just wants screw.
And he's been impressive on everything he's played except for Invoker, which was a little underwhelming, and that's why I don't think they pick it again.
It's a hit-and-miss hero these days anyway.
Yeah.
It just feels like Invoker is the type of hero that needs too much, but Death Prophet is just that right balance between not able to constantly pressure and have those big spikes. It's like both teams, it feels like this desperate scenario where they both want Roche. Secret, I think they need it right now because, like you said, these Moon rotations, it's not easy for them to jump straight onto a Death Prophet and kill off.
They made that smoke move just now, I believe, and there's a ward there that scouted it out. And this is that Roche move we were talking about, but it's risky. It's so risky.
It's so split. If they respond quick
that wolf's gonna win them this fight, or give them the time to do the Roche.
They actually get a catch on the mid one here. The Eels is there and the stun. Oh, he dodges it. Nicely done from mid one. Needs to be careful because he sees the rest of Mineski coming. This might be the time to get up. They need to finish the Roche. Secret trying to do it. In the meantime, Vandalin, can he get in? He's intercepted. It's still alive though. He's going to try and pick it up. The snatch comes out. Nice gets to the feed grip. It does that. There's not going to achieve enough. The cooldowns there and they're wiping through Secret so quick. Sparta trying to stand his ground, but what can you do with no one else alive? There's no point being the tank. He's going to die as well to escape. But Mineski, perfect timing to intercept that Roche.
So close. You see the supports booked it. I think you have to stay in and finish the Roche, and that's a perfect example of how in this patch sometimes it's better off dying because it secures your team an objective and would allow you to avoid a fight. If Ember just dies mid, they have the time to kill that Roche and get out of dodge, but he avoids it. They know for sure where they are based on the positioning of his Remnant, and team wipe.
I mean, the interesting part is he spotted them on the high ground near the entrance. He could have, for example, he could have just held them in place with the Searing Chains, but
it's so crucial because they got the Roche kill as well. So much golden experience, and Ice just making plays. 4th in net worth on the Pango, above Ace already.
Absolutely, and it's getting a little bit concerning now. As you said, the only one really contesting Mineski's net worth is mid one, and there's only so much pressure you can actually pile on Ember Spirit before he loses effectiveness.
Thing is, Secret can still play the lanes easily, but this is where the Mineski Nyx comes in. And we saw when they played LGD in the major finals at DAC a few days back, Nyx was banned every game, okay? And it allows Jabs to apply so much pressure simply by staying off map. And it's so frustrating to play against the Nyx, especially on a hero like Ember. We saw this happen to HFN in this previous game where there's a bounty and a Tinker always threatening him, a Doom hiding in the trees. You can't play the game you want to.
And there's also, Nyx is really good against the Ember Spirit just because when you're the Flame Guard up, they can trap you, they can trick you, and then get the Spike Carapace, which leads into extra stuns.
Exactly. He's always answered. There's no, you're never safe if enemy heroes just aren't showing, and it doesn't matter what they're doing. If you don't know where they are, you can't play as aggressively as you want. And I feel like Secret, they play best when Ace and mid one feel free they're safe, you know? And if they do go down, it's because they were either outplayed or if somebody shows up with 4 or in good positioning. But this game, like, Ace so pressured, I haven't seen him cross the river.
I mean, he got Pure a little bit, but look at this. Puppy needs to move away. I was thinking about going mid one. Nice interruption there. Should be able to move away. So that's right. They're just playing reserve, hamming the lines, making sure they're not too clustered when they go to these engagements. And that's good. I think Mineski, they're just going to look to lead in with jabs every time, though. And that's the real concern.
The timing for Mineski, though. Oh my gosh. You have a BKB on Gyro already? What threatens him now?
And this thing, Troll's trying to go for one, but he's not there yet. And he needs to be because Moon now pushing on the tier 2.
Another Arcane Rune.
This man is just finding all of them. It's like he's just holding on, waiting for an Arcane Rune to appear.
Unbelievable.
Nice, going in. They're actually going to go straight on the mid one. They need to control him up enough, but nice Nightmare to save him from the damage. The Voltage Shield will cover him as well, and there's the beam script coming out. They want to get this kill on the ice outside. But look, he's so damn tanky. The cooldown coming in, and Farda's going to be forced back. They need to return to their base because they've already lost Puppy. Muchi standing his ground. They'll just look towards this tier 2.
Yep. And that's the one thing that no one was talking about at the start of this game. Where is Secret's team fight? What's the plan? We saw that in that top tier 1 fight. If you run into DP Gyro ultimates, you have to turn around and run until you have the BKB timing and kind of far.
Speaking of the fights, Mushi gets picked off by mid one. Fantastic use of the Remnant because he bounced through.
Yeah. I feel like deja vu. Mineski win a critical team fight.
And then Gyro
Mushi TP's bottom, dies in the dead lane, forces his teammates to respond.
Every time. Well, I mean, as good as the man is doing in terms of farm, he's just giving mid one a chance here.
Yeah, BKB too. Did he use it in that last fight?
He used it in the last fight in the mid because he pushed them all out, so that was a 10-second charge. Nah, he's just holding on to it, right? He just wants to make this an interesting game. Get us 30, 40 minutes in, see what happens.
I appreciate it. BO1s, we want some entertainment value.
Damn right. You want it back and forth. You don't just want one-sided.
It's just crazy how much of this game, it would be a close to even game had that Roche fight not gone so poorly. Exactly. And that was so critical for Mineski because Secret always have the ability to do that, and it's just that they were in that 3 to 5 second window. They had the ability to not just get the Roche, but the fight, which is huge.
And at this point, your front line of Troll Wall is going to be in trouble. The top line, Yap's a fantastic stun, but it won't make a difference. A's going to be picked off here. And I was just about to say, it's especially important for the Troll at this point in the game to have that Aegis. As we're seeing time and time again, mid one can't cover him. Roll Thunder coming out, Puppy. He's actually been caught in individual with a follow-up stun, and they'll get the kill.
Oh, I love what Ice is doing with his item build this game. When you have DP Gyro, natural tanky heroes, they're going to itemize defensively. You go this Vanguard into Greaves build. Like, have a mech. Have more sustain, because if they aren't able, like, the Lion Knicks are just going to pump out stuns on a clock, like clockwork, every 10 seconds. All you need to do is survive. The longer the fight goes for Mineski, the better, because if you don't get a kill in the timing of grip, the Remnant combo, the Slaughter initiation, like, you just lose if you're Secret. They're going to go high ground.
Yeah, move. It's not a matter of no respect, it's a matter of exactly that, because they feel they can at least get this tower out of it. And Secret, they're reluctant to push into this right now. Mid one's making his way back slowly, just trying to farm up before he returns. And the Fiend's Grip does come out, but it's not really doing much damage again. Moon absolutely fine here. And now there's nothing to really stop it going in, but Yapsel gets it stun out. Gyro a little bit in trouble here, they're stacking again though. Mushi getting super low, they're moving through from mid one. He's got the BKB out, but he can't control Mushi. He's going to look for the kill on the Moon. The Exorcism's going to run out soon, they have to make this quick though. But no! The Yule's coming out of the cooldown. Mushi just trying to cover his teammate, but he can't. His BKB's ran out. Puppy, he'll be able to find the kill. It's ready to reset. The Yule's coming out. Jab looking for a kill. Nice stunner return. Ice, just shredding through mid one. He's looking for more though. He wants to come back. Hex out on the Fada, trying to control Puppy on the back foot, they can't. Fada standing his ground with a Photic Shield. Now Mineski, they're running out of steam. They need to back up.
Ace did get the kill though. Huge streak bonus, nearly 1,000 gold for taking out Moon. Pangalier's not fair, man. 60-second cooldown. Do you see that ultimate? Like,
absolutely. It's just you think your fight's going great. Suddenly you're clustering for a second, and you are so hard punished.
But you take that. Look at the gold change. Even though it's a 2 for 2 and they're both cores, it doesn't matter. And you can see even BKB, the flat cannon, the ghosts, they're doing so much damage to mid one, even through the casual buckler. Like, there's so much damage output from Mineski. To win this game, Secret have to survive this mid game phase, get to the late game, because that's where their lineup really comes online.
And this is the kind of crux, right? You always feel forced to put the Photic Shield onto Ember, which means your Troll Warlord is still so exposed.
So yeah, no BKB, and the reason that they had to let so much damage go onto that tier 3 was mid one was just finishing his BKB, and they needed a BKB. I love the decision because Ace wasn't going to have his for that fight, and they lose at least tier 3, probably racks. But because mid one, do you see Ember BKB very often?
Not very often.
Rounds for BKB, but he needs it because if they aren't able to zone them out and force them out of base, they just lose the game there.
Exactly. I mean, usually we see if an Ember needs to go defensive, it's going to be Yules or Manta. BKB is the last thought in your mind because you don't want to have to be present in the center. But in this type of game, they're forced to because their frontliner is so ignorable. It's the Abaddon. And well, smoke up from Mineski. They are not willing to wait around and see what Secret have in store next. They're going to look for an entry kill.
It's a tier 3 so low, and you don't want to wait. There's no reason to let them get another round of items. That BKB troll totally changes and make up this game, and all of a sudden, your supports can't control any core.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's the difference. Secret do have that control and do have that presence on their cores, even when BKB is up.
Yeah.
So Ace, he's almost got the BKB, and they're wise to this. Mineski moving bot right now. And Ace may be in a little bit of trouble. Jabs, he wants this. Ace, feeling something's not right though.
Spidey senses.
Yeah. Just love it when it happens sometimes because it really throws teams off. Like they must have a ward around here somewhere.
They'll take it, but Secret forced to give up the map. They're going to make a smoke move. I am not sure you want to do this. They have the troll BKB.
Mid one, he's actually scanned out. They know about him here. The Moon, they're waiting for something else. They might have to settle for a creep. Here they come. Smoked up just now. Secret are going to run into Moon in a second. They break the smoke. There it is. They spot him out, and now jump straight on to Moon. Aeon Disc comes out to try and fight out Fire, but the Fiend's Grip is there. Troll Wall coming in again. Look at this. Use of the Roll of Thunder not having much effect because of BKBs.
Dude, flawless Oh, they're so fast.
And now moving across, Jabs is going to join him in the grave as well. And these BKBs, like you said, they have so much effect.
It's all Secret needed. And I believe they timed those when they saw Ice blink in. He has Greaves and Blink now. He's actually so fat. He's look at his number.
He's almost got more than a gyro.
Yeah, the problem is that with this build, all Pango is that ultimate as far as like his damage output,
Absolutely.
right? And as soon as the BKBs come out, you can ignore them completely. And the physical damage for Mineski there isn't enough without the Ghost Sub. It's just not possible to actually kill these heroes, especially Vlad's Ice Ogre thanks to Helm of the Dominator from Fada. So everyone's walking around with 12 more armor.
Absolutely. In that stage, the gyro's impact really drops. So you're so reliant on the Pangolin at the moment. If you can't shift that focus and rely on the gyro in the next 10 minutes, your damage peak is gone.
And I love watching it. Something I've always stressed. Whenever you're playing against a heavy physical damage threat, they don't have the burst to deal with you. If you just stack armor, nobody dies, and it's really deceptive because you think you're going to do damage, and then their health bars don't move as fast as they should. A lot of Dota is feeling, and you see some guy with 3k HP, it makes sense to you, math, but you don't feel the Ice Ogre's presence as much.
It's always, I think Kunko is always the lesson learned in that, right? Like you hit creep, wow, I hit him hard. You hit the hero, it's like, well, my support. But Mineski, they'll just have to wait around the Roche pit, hoping Secret might turn up theirs. They are smoked and on the move right now. They have no vision over the Roche pit themselves. They'll slap down the sentries and just make sure they're safe to go. Fada, they know Jabs is here.
They know Roche is up. It's the right play. They have BKBs back up. Roche is up. You got to make a play. This is your time.
Oh, the nightmare. Jabs a little bit from the double stun comes straight out. The controller there, they're moving in. The Roche pit gets caught. And on this running, Ace just wants to fight. The BKB still running means you can't really do anything on move right now. Fada stands around, the feed comes down, the looks for a fight on the side. The fighter kills, Jab instantly buys back. Moon trying to run away because that minus armor starting to hurt Mushi. He's trying to force the rest of them out. They will lose control, Warlord. And suddenly, Secret need to retreat. They've lost the momentum. Fada's going to die as well.
Oh, it's great.
It took too long.
No, it's because Emperor Troll turned to kill the Nyx. He's always going to buy back. He's the support. But you feel bad staying on Death Prophet. Yeah, disc procs. Then he uses himself. It's 5 seconds where you can't go after the target you need to take down. Moon with the presence of mind. Yeah, I might go down here, but he pops his ult anyway to ensure that they win that fight so long as he can survive, and he does. And you see the team fight. Gyro comes out, Lion stuns. What do you do?
And that's the concern, these peaks back and forth, because as you use those big BKB charges, like you said, 5 seconds, that's practically nothing left for you to use in the fight. And it feels like you have to target Mushi as the entrance kill now.
Yep. That's the big Aegis Roche too, because Gyro DP, one gets Aegis, one gets Cheese. It's pretty intuitive who would get what. And now you have 2 cores, nigh unkillable, DP with 2 built-in saves, plus a Cheese. Gyro's going to have BKB Butterfly Aegis. It's going to be really tough to take anybody down.
Secret are going to need one hell of a hold, and it feels like there's a lot of pressure again on mid-one's shoulder to make sure that does occur.
Yep.
As when you're in this type of scenario as a Troll Warlord, you can't really force yourself charging down the center.
And this Crimson Guard from Ice, it's just, there's no damage from Secret outside of these right clicks. Troll's going to be rendered useless once if that's up. Like, Pango can just dive, and like that's the thing. Both of your other 2 cores have innate saves. Pango's just untargetable. He's tankier than the Doom was in the previous
BO1. Who is targetable? Puppy. Perfect entrance kill, because without the Fiend's Grip, defense will be much harder. They're already getting ready to push in. Puppy to fight back. Gato jumps into the start. Mid-1, he needs to do a lot of damage. Ace coming across as well. Mushi getting super low, they'll find the Aegis. On the back foot, the supports are defending. They'll turn around the Fiend's Grip out. They will find a kill on the Jabs. Can they run down Mushi here is the real question, though. They don't want to tempt fate.
Ice.
Ice came in. It's not really, this is probably the lackluster roll fun. You gotta have at least one in the game.
Yeah. But you just don't have the ability to pursue, used almost all your remnants on mid-1, and you can't fight into Mineski. You need these pickoffs, bait and switch, just in and out. If you chase, we've seen this time and time again, they just get slaughtered.
Yeah, so that's the thing about Mineski, they're pretty good at kiting. They've got the Pangolier, the gyro moves so fast, and we've seen the Death Prophet, the amount of time that she's impossible to attack. But mid-1, he is at least starting to solidify his lead at the top. I'm surprised he actually hasn't dipped behind the gyro at this point. But his farming patterns have been on point so far. And the kills he keeps finding on the gyro.
Yep. And this is the story of these 2 lineups, where you see MKB soon to be finished on Ace, a little bit away, but Mineski's operating this entire game like an item ahead, okay? Because that's the nature of their draft and the way they need to play. But if Secret, even though they're behind in net worth, they get these next items to catch up.
True.
That's where they can start to win fights, like we saw with the BKB timings. Once we get this MKB, you can kill the gyrocopter now with just sitting on him. Like, he catches a bash, and he just dies. And Mineski really want to use this Aegis to at least crack the tier 3.
And that's the thing, you feel like there's a pressure here. Like, Gyro late game, if he gets Rapiers, stands on his high ground, really hard to push into. But when you're up against a Slardar and an Ember Spirit, you don't feel so safe anymore.
Yeah.
And if the Troll does manage to jump on you, like you said, one bash, you're dead. And there's the smoke from Mineski. As the pressure does seem to be showing, they will look to just accelerate their lead. But Secret are pretty stacked right now. That's the problem. Secret are not really split pushing when they can't see Mineski.
It's a good smoke, though. They keep Pango showing bot. If you're Secret, you're going to expect them to do this, wrap around behind tier 2 bot, place a ward. But they're going to just chase, maybe look to find a pick off mid or the Dark Ancients they have right up above.
Absolutely. But looks like they go the wrong way. So they'll just stop pushing the lanes. And at the same time, Ice he has pushed in the bot. So that's how we'll start to feel friend. And I don't think Secret want to respond to this. They just want to look to trade towers.
Look at that ward. I have never seen that ward before, right? Just scouted Secret's movement up into that top area. It's in the river.
Yeah, that's the peculiar one. I mean, I guess it catches around both sides, so maybe you're looking for that wrap around the Roche pit. But there should be another tower dropping, and Mineski, they've taken all the outer towers now, which means if Secret have one big fight and it goes wrong, this could be game.
And you can see Secret fearful to leave anyone in the top lane. Even with the ward to protect, they're all back into their side because they know a Nyx invis up there, one TP, a follow-up TP once the stun initiation lockdown starts. It's a blink line and an invis Nyx. Like, you actually cannot ever be safe if the enemy heroes are off map, and their entire woods right now is dark.
There's always the big threat when you're up against invis heroes. Like you said, when you know where they are. You're not going to carry a gem and run sentry there. But mid one, going top on the Ice. This is a hard kill to go for. Look at the damage mid one's taken.
Yeah.
You just can't assault Pangolier like this.
It's nice, though. He's the only guy that can do anything close to that sort of pressure. And it's easy for us to think about map movement because we have no fog of war. But like, the map is actually so dark right now for Secret. Look at where they're forced to ward. One just outside of their base. They've been expecting Mineski to go for the throat here and threaten high ground. Over the last 2-3 minutes, yeah, Mineski didn't go high ground, but they gave their advantage nearly 3,000 gold because of so much map dominance. And the Bane of Puppey is just going to fall off. It's going to be so hard to cast a spell.
Speaking of high ground, Mineski sat on theirs near their shrine. Suspicious that something was going on in Secret. Once again, they smoke, but can they get value? Look at towards Moon, but this isn't the end kill. Mushi, his position is perfect for this.
Yep. Lotus Orb now as well on Moon. He has so many saves for himself. And look at the sentries Puppey's been forced to buy all over the place, and he still missed the wards of Mineski because they're in such awkward positions this game. It's always a toss-up. Do you place wards that don't give you as much vision, but they're less likely to be countered, or do you place the really good ones that they'll find eventually?
And like you said, the Nyx having so much impact, the Secret are forced into this sentries galore scenario.
Yeah. I am concerned that the Pango's going to have way more impact than Secret prepped for in this game.
On mid one, Sunstar. Surprised he actually didn't back out there, but maybe making it a little bit obvious to side Mineski that he has backup nearby. Oh, starting from Yasuo, free! The cooldown coming out in 08. He wants to go to work. He needs a bash on Mushi. He'll get it. Can he follow up enough damage? Yes, maybe he can. Ice trying to keep Mushi alive. He'll reach the tree line, but look at the chase from mid one. He can't pursue it anymore. They've already lost Yasuo. Another turnaround. They're going to lose everyone on the back foot while mid one's a little bit too deep controlled up by Ice. Let's find the kill. Only 2 escape on the side of Secret and Fada, plus Puppey. I don't think they can hold this.
That's the Crimson Guard and the Greaves. That's the only reason Mushi lives there. That's the MKB troll timing. He comes out, starts whacking, but you can see once he drops below the threshold, he gets that bonus armor and regen. Troll's just tickling him. You can't kill Mushi through these items.
They're going to lose at least 2 lanes here, possibly more, because there's no buybacks available. This may actually just end up being game. I wonder if they just go for the tier 4s, or is that a little bit too bold here? I mean, you got Slardar up in 10.
You have to. You don't have to.
You don't have to force it. And well, they'll move forward Ninja Boogie. Hex is up on the path here to stun through, and Mushi arrives to be able to find that kill. And just as Yapsel gets back up, any chance of holding here is now gone again. You'll lose another tier 3, and you'll lose the entire lane.
That's game, man.
That's game. There's no way back since even when you get troll up, he has to wait for Ember Spirit.
Yeah, it's the team fight. I mean, the 4 arcane runes certainly helped accelerate their timing, but the Roche fight, like Secret, you can't blame the draft. You can't even necessarily blame their play. Just, this is what happens when 2 good teams play. You get wiped in the Roche pit, they get kill and Aegis. Like, they made a lot of good moves, but at a certain point, with the exception of that fight tier 1 top, they did well, but
moving forward, they're looking for another kill. They're not done just yet. They want to wipe it out. Ace is dead, and now the only one left there is Sparta. He triggers to borrow time, but it's just an inevitability that he's going to drop as well. As he comes down into the surprise, all Mineski's team waiting for him. Jump forward, headed straight towards the fountain. look for the kill, and the Sun's coming out of mid one. BKB go down the buyback from Violet. Can they find anything in return? They will, but it's just a lion. You throw out all your remnants, and now they can just take the rest of your base. Fana coming forward, but what's the point? Mid one in the meantime, he actually does get the kill on the Ice. Maybe they'll be able to hold, but the final Rax has already fallen. Now they think we should get out on the side of Mineski. The Yules from jabs, he should be able to maybe move away. Yeah, spike Carapace, and I'll invis up and just walk out. And I mean, maybe if you save that final Rax, but you just saw it. Moon just focused, didn't even try and look for the kill, just focused on the buildings.
And I don't know how you come back into this if your secret.
You haven't really got the wave clear. I mean, you go for the Maelstrom Mjolnir. It's not bad for wave clear, but this is the time where like Battle Fury would have been nicer if we knew we were giving Mega Creep to 37 minutes in. I'm not really sure they have the wave clear because now the two cores are going to be pulled between two lanes. You can't just leave one person in base and hold it.
Well, it's not just that. Mineski just waits for their cooldowns and respawns. They just walk into the base as 5 with a bunch of Mega Creep waves, and they just kill the throne. You can't. It just comes back to lack of team fight. Secret's all in on this single target burst, and as soon as the Pango, instead of going, we've seen this really, really bad Javelin build a few times on Pango. I've seen as many as 4 at once. But you got the build from Ice where he understands his role.
Exactly.
He is the entire reason that they're winning a lot of these engagements. Yep. The one where they dove the tier 1 top, like he just stunned 4 in there. By just standing next to Mushi, he keeps his boy alive.
And now they'll just go for Roche before pushing in. And I don't think Secret can even leave their base to try and contest this.
A really fast respawn too. And as you said, I agree completely. We have 2. I think you give the refresher orb to Mushi just because they're gonna win a fight. Yeah, you might as well get 2 BKBs because you won't need another exorcism. The game will end during the first.
Absolutely, not much of a base left for Secret to defend. Yeah. They'll continue to defend nonetheless. And they no doubt know that this roast is occurring, but they just have to accept it. I mean, is there any item they could get that could really have that big impact now? I mean, you got your BKBs, you got your MTB. Maybe you could get Daedalus in time on the troll, but I mean that's just wishful thinking. So smoke up from Mineski up, they pick up the Roche, they stick the Aegis on the Mushi, as expected.
I think Secret needs a lot more than optimism to win this game. More of a miracle.
Well, sadly, he's on Liquid's side, so they'll have to settle for Ace and the rest. And Puppy, he walked out of the base and he'll pay the price. Jump through, he should actually die here. Oh, nice stuff from Yaps on the free, but how would he follow this up right now, mid-1? Beatscript does come out on the Nyx this time. Mushi, they try and jump at it, but now Ace, he needs to run away. The BKB's going to enter the bash coming out on the Ice, but it's just full retreat. Secret, they have to leave behind Abaddon, and now Fada will drop to his death because he knows. Done, but 4 heroes like this, the moment you do, you're going to die. They don't even pop the Aegis, and now your tier 4s are starting to drop. Secret, I don't know what you can do here. It's looking so grim right now. They need to get a kill on the Moon immediately, but
they can't kill anyone.
Jump in, there it is. A stun again from Yapsel, but they're already focusing out on the Emperor's Moon. He dies off, triple for Moon, and now they're looking towards Ace. He gets stunned instantly. He's going to die, and GG gets called. As Secret, they submit to Mineski's dominant play.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. Mineski crushed, and that looked like a lot closer to the Mineski we saw win a major versus the one that flamed out of the group stage. And I mean, I did a little pre-rankings before this playoff series. Mineski 10 days.